Now let's talk about IPv6. It's new and it's improved. But wait, there's more. No, IPv6 is really cool. I know you guys all think about IPv6. Everybody goes, yeah, it's hexadecimal. Really hard to type out an IP address. And let's see, what else do you... Oh, there's going to be a bazillion IP addresses. Okay, it's not quite a bazillion, but it is over, you ready for this number? 340 octocillion addresses. An octocillion is represented by 13 commas in the number. Trust me, write that out. It's mind-boggling. The analogy that I've heard is that there's going to be so many addresses, if you were to take every square meter of Earth, including the ocean floor, each meter of Earth could be assigned 1,024 addresses. It is extremely, extremely large, and I don't think we'll ever run out, at least not in my lifetime. Of course, I don't know, back when we were teaching IPv4 in the old NT40 days, I used to say, yeah, we're never going to run out, and look what's happened, right? Now, the issue with IPv6 isn't necessarily that it's so big. However, we'll talk about that one. Big does add something to us, but it creates some attack vectors for us just in the way that it works. First of all, it's extremely easy to implement because there's a ton of auto configuration. Well, anytime we see auto configuration, what did I tell you before? Yeah, it could leave some vulnerabilities open for attack because of the defaults, right? We also have to deal with incompatibility of logging systems. So IPv6 uses a 120-bit address scheme, which actually gets stored as a 39-digit string. In IPv4, addresses were stored in a 15-character field. And so some of our logging devices, whether it's an appliance or an application, may not be compatible with this new data string. So you need to make sure, and I always tell people when we're dealing with IPv6, that you check that all the devices and software that are going to be on the network are compatible with IPv6. And by the way, if you don't know that much about IPv6, let's see. I bet I can think of a company that you might be able to learn about IPv6. In fact, I think they got a great video series. Try Googling Pluralsight and see what you find. Okay, the other issue that we have is default activation when it comes to IPv6. In the Microsoft world, IPv6, and I'm assuming other worlds too, I haven't really done a lot of research on this one, but the default setting is it's automatically turned on. This kind of goes against everything that I thought Microsoft had learned with Server 2000. I don't know if you remember earlier, I mentioned that, with Server 2000, we installed it. We got a default website because they installed IIS for us. Well, they did the same thing with IPv6. It's turned on by default, and the only way to really turn it off, it's built into the OS, is through, for example, a group policy. We also have shortcuts. A lot of times, because IPv6 is so complex, or it looks so complex, I'm sure one day we'll look back on it and go, I can't believe I was afraid of it. But because of this, IT folks or people who are implementing it may use easy to remember addresses or try to simplify it. Maybe they add the IPv4 as the last octet. This is for what they refer to as dual stacking. And this could obviously create a bunch of vector issues for us. We also have bigger headers. Now, I guess technically the actual header for IPv6 is supposed to be a little bit smaller. But the issue that we have here is that IPv6 uses a 40-byte fixed header, but then it adds on an extension header, which actually could be chained, which could actually overload some of your systems, such as a switch, a router, firewall, gateway, or even an intrusion detection system or an IDS. 6-to-4 translation. Okay, so as folks are making their transition from IPv4 to IPv6, it's not like it's a switch that they're going to turn off and on one day. Unfortunately, 4 and 6 don't actually talk to each other. They're not compatible. So we have to come up with these mechanisms that help systems that are running still IPv4 to talk with IPv6 hosts and vice versa. Well, if that's implemented carelessly, it could actually also provide a new attack vector for someone to get in on. Multiple IPs per device. Now, what's kind of interesting about IPv6 is that a single device could be assigned at least 3 addresses. It can get we refer to it as a global link address, a local link address, and a site address. knowing that we could assign up to 3 addresses to one device, maybe I should take back that statement about we'll never run out of addresses. Um, it can create a very complex environment. And what do we know about complexity? Complexity adds the ability for different holes or paths to be opened up into our environment. And when you think about this one, especially as we make the transition to IPv6, our cell phones will get there one day. Our tablets will be on IPv6. I mean, for heaven's sake, I've got a refrigerator that's got an Ethernet jack on the back. There's dishwashers, washer and dryers. Almost all of our appliances are starting to come or have that option available to them. I'm just waiting for someday for someone to hack my refrigerator, daisy chain in off that, and have my stove tell my dishwasher it's time to turn on. Okay, and then network discovery. So IPv6 does this beautifully. It goes through and discovers computers that are located near it, referred to as neighboring node. It also will look for what they refer to as a router solicitation. A router solicitation is issued out by the router saying, hey, I'm a router, I can get you out of this network. Well, that's really cool, but think about that one for a second. Any problems pop into your mind? Well, I could think of a couple of them. Maybe, an attacker could actually daisy chain through your network and access data that they shouldn't be able to gain access to because they're using network discovery.